I died screaming in a back alley for a father's badge number I had memorized since childhood. But the real nightmare began when I watched my own mother calmly unzip my body bag and not even recognize her son without his head. To understand why my own mother couldn't identify my corpse, you have to know the last conversation we ever had. I had called her bursting with pride to tell her I had qualified for the Federal Law Enforcement Academy, hoping to finally honor my fallen father's legacy. Her response wasn't pride, it was venom. She told me I was pathetic, an embarrassment to my father's badge number, and to get lost. Broken, I wandered into Shadow Creek Alley, where a group of thugs ambushed me, seeking revenge for the hell my Dia hero father had rained on their operations years ago. They didn't just kill me, they tortured me, breaking my bones one by one before dismembering me alive. Now, as a ghost hovering above the autopsy table, I watched the scene unfold with a cold detachment. My mother, Dr. Vanessa Sterling Hartman, Bayport's most respected forensic examiner, strides into the room with her usual clinical authority. She dismisses the officer's warning about the gruesome state of the remains, boasting that she has seen it all. But when she unzips the bag, she frowns, not out of recognition, but because my head is missing, taken as a trophy by my killers. She begins her work, methodically sorting through my shattered bones and severed flesh, narrating the brutal details of my torture with the precision of a machine. She catalogs my broken fingers, my shattered ribs, and the dull saw blade used to take me apart while I was still breathing. She even speculates on the motive, wondering what kind of grudge could drive someone to inflict such agony on a child, completely oblivious to the fact that the child on her table is the one she told to get lost just hours before. She stood over my mutilated body, unaware she was piecing together her own son, and declared that if I dared to become a cop, I could forget about ever calling her mother again. To understand why my mother's hatred for me ran so deep, you have to look back to the rainy night my father died. I was a sick child, and because she rushed me to the hospital, my exhausted father went on a call alone and was killed in a shootout. She never forgave me. She blamed my fever for his death, a resentment that festered for years until she couldn't even look at me without seeing the reason her husband was gone. Now, as a ghost, I watched her work on my remains with a clinical detachment that terrified me. She didn't recognize my shattered bones or flayed skin because the killers had taken my head. When my Aunt Rachel called, worried because I was missing, my mother scoffed. She dismissed my disappearance as a temper tantrum, claiming I was probably sulking in a gaming cafe after she yelled at me. She ridiculed my dream of joining the police academy, calling it an insult to the profession and wishing I would rot wherever he wants. I floated above her, desperate to apologize, to promise I wouldn't be a cop if it meant she wouldn't hate me, but I was voiceless. The tension in the room spiked when she noticed 2 missing fingers on the corpse's right hand. My heart, or what was left of it, sank. Those fingers bore deep scars from a childhood police dog bite, a distinctive mark she knew well. She ordered a search for them, suspecting they were removed to hide identification, completely missing the irony that she was hunting for the very evidence that would break her. She ordered a DNA test, to the final nail in my coffin of anonymity. I screamed at her to stop, to drop the case, but she just kept working, tirelessly dismantling the son she wished would disappear, blissfully unaware that her wish had already come true in the most horrific way possible. My Aunt Rachel screamed at my mother to pray the dismembered boy in the morgue wasn't her own son, and my mother just scoffed, saying if it was me, Rachel could keep the remains because she'd had enough of my dead weight anyway. To understand how my mother became this cold, you have to witness the scene outside the police station. Rachel was frantic, begging Vanessa to take my disappearance seriously, terrified that the mutilated body found in the city might be mine. But my mother dismissed her fear as manipulation, claiming I was just pulling a stunt to force my way into the police academy. She coldly stated that if something happened to me, it was my own fault for being careless, proving I wasn't cut out for law enforcement. When Rachel pushed back, accusing her of cruelty, my mother delivered the ultimate blow. She declared she wouldn't care if the body was me, and Rachel could have whatever was left. I watched from above as Rachel stormed off, texting my dead phone to come home to her instead, offering me safety I could never accept. I tried to follow her, but my spirit was tethered to my own remains in the morgue. I drifted back to the station, where my mother, exhausted but relentless, refused to rest until she solved the case. The air in the room crackled with tension as an officer announced the DNA results were in. My mother rushed to the screen, her eyes glued to the progress bar as it climbed to 100%. The room held its breath, and I watched, paralyzed, as the system finally revealed the name of the victim she had been dissecting for 20 hours, her own son. Welcome to share your feelings in the comments section. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more story content, please check out the other videos on my channel.